Hey guys, and welcome back. It's good to have you with us. You're joining us. I originally said that I didn't think I was going to film today's adventure, but I changed my mind. I decided we'll take you guys along with me on the ride as we go and we get the tractor fixed and everything put away. So we've got about a 20-minute drive, not too crazy, and what I'm excited about is it's a 20-minute drive through the country. So we've got a lot of cool farming sites and whatnot of rural Pennsylvania to drive through. So we'll have the camera out and kind of record our drive. I haven't been over this way in such a while. It's very rare for me to drive this way. There was a few years ago where we had a farm right over to my left. It's currently all trees. If you look through the window there, you can see it's all trees. And that was all corn. Everywhere that you see trees is corn. That was a pretty fun year. I had a really good time, me and Daniel, working on clearing that land and tilling it. It was rough because, of course, it was used for a tree farm. So we had to level the ground off to get it flat and prepared and give it a good seed bed. And then the corn came up, was beautiful. And then come harvest time, apparently the whole area was very marshy. The combine got stuck, so they were only able to harvest it in the dead of January. Oh yeah, fun times that was. Here we go. This is the real rural part here. This valley opens up right in front of us. There's an opening between the two mountains. Right on the other side of those mountains is the Susquehanna River, and it's just gorgeous out here. This area is what the area that we live in would have continued to look like if we didn't get a lot of housing developments coming in. You guys have seen a lot of fields that I've worked in the past videos talking about how there's a new house here, there's a new house here, there's a new house here. It's a lot easier for developers. Oh, here we go. Got a farmer right here loading up his grain drill. Looks like he may have parked it that way for the night, but yeah, that's exciting. But it's a lot easier for developers to build on fields than it is on woods. You know, you don't have to clear all the trees out and all that, so that land is more sought after, sadly. And it's sad because it's been farmed for years. It's good soil. It's converted to houses. And I get it, people need places to live, so I understand. But at the same point in time, it is sad to see an area where your entire life it's been beautiful rural areas and farms, and now it's just more and more and more houses. I gotta tell you, one of the funniest things that I've ever heard, and I think you guys will probably find this pretty funny too, and if you don't, then maybe this is a wake-up call for you. But there are a lot of people that don't know that they're moving into a rural area. You know, they'll see this and then really just be like, wow, it's beautiful, and I kind of like living out here in the country. But they don't really necessarily know what that entails. And so, you know, they'll buy a house, and then come springtime when we're putting manure down on the fields and spreading fertilizer out and you got tractors on the roads, you actually will have people that will complain about the smell of the manure and about the tractors being on the roads, and they'll get upset about that. And I've never fully understood that. Maybe it's because of the farming background and the way that I look at things. I know that these are necessities and that this is a good sign, right? The smell of manure means that summer's on its way, and it's natural fertilizer. Like, everybody should be happy about that. And seeing tractors go down the road was so cool, and it was like awesome to see. It's like, there goes the farmers, you know, it's so neat. But yeah, more and more, this is happening, more and more. We'll see people that'll stop and they'll tell us that they're upset about the smell of manure, and they'll ask us if we could do anything about it. Or you got people with intense allergies, and they're worried and concerned about whatever crops you're planting because it affects their allergies. Or tractor equipment going down the road is too big and they don't like you being on the road, and why do you have to be on the road? I don't say this to complain. I simply put this out there for any individuals who maybe they don't realize what they're saying, to just be more educated about the area that you're moving into, to understand that this is if you're moving into a beautiful country setting, these are the things that make it beautiful. Right now, all I smell is chicken manure. That's what I smell. I'm driving through a wooded area here that's going to open up into farm fields, and it just, all it smells like is chicken manure. And that's what it smells. Well, now I'm smelling skunk. Yeah, skunk and chicken manure. That's just what it smells like around this time, around these places, around these times of year. And then you get the incredible, beautiful, lush greens and vibrant hues of colors in the fall. And everything just looks so lively, and the air is so fresh in the summertime. It's just part of life out here. It's good to know those things, you know? I love these trees, these beautiful pink flowers that come out in springtime. Oh my word, it's gorgeous. Oh, such a beautiful drive. Fun fact for you, these fields that you're seeing through my window right here, we are about half an hour by car from the farm. So about an hour from the farm by tractor. All of these fields were farmed by Brian from the Veggie Boys. Yeah. He was telling stories, and honestly, I think it'd be a fun thing for him to say because he could give it way more justice than I could. He was telling stories about how when he was a kid, about 8 years old, maybe even 7, his dad brought him out here with a tractor and a disc, and then he had, I think it was like 80 or 100 acres that he had to farm out here, and he just farmed them, and that was what he did. You know, no cell phones, obviously. This is back before cell phones. This is back before all that. And that was what he did. His dad came back at the end of the day. He farmed from, I think he said from like 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And that was all he did, was he drove an international tractor with a disc, and he just cared for the land. He always says that with a huge smile on his face. He's so proud of it. Just funny how times have changed. Well, there we go. Brand new hydraulic line, brand new seals. Looks nice. Looks nice, very nice. And this hose right here was $100, just for an idea. Hydraulic stuff is expensive, but to put that in perspective, that is actually pretty reasonable price for this in our area. Normally they run a lot more expensive. I used a new place this time around, which is actually quite nice. I'm gonna recommend them for anybody that lives near me and wants to get hydraulic connections. Check out Kravenko's. Place was nice. Let's get this put on the tractor. Well, look who I found way out here. There's Tyler. That's that big neighbor farmer that we have. We mentioned that they farm 3,000 acres. Well, there you go, that's part of it. Well, he's moving too. See you at lunch, buddy. We made it. We're here. I mean, you know, honestly, like, we're so close to being done that you could actually say that we kind of are done, and I could leave that for next year. But it's like ridiculous, man. I can't believe, like, tractor's just like, no, I'm done. All right, new bolt, or new line. And I'm gonna go get my 5-gallon bucket of hydraulic fluid because we are low. Now, yesterday, upon taking this off, I decided I wanted to reroute some things. My goodness, do you think I have enough wrenches? All right, so this guy right here, I would like it to go straight. So it comes straight and just goes right up and connects. My wrist is popping every single time I turn this. Yeah, just like that. Okay, I believe this was a, what was it, guys, a 23? No, it was a 30. Yeah. Okay, all new seals. There we go. So that's on. So the way this works is the hydraulic fluid's in a reservoir in the tractor, goes through the pump, and then it goes into the tractor system. This valve is an add-on. This is what sends hydraulic fluid to the front. So it then converts the fluid. So it takes the fluid from the pump into this electric valve and then into the tractor. So the third function valve actually gets first dibs at everything, which is pretty cool. Okay, so this hydraulic line, I want to run like that. It was actually pretty cool. The place that we were getting it done at, usually, you know, you just kind of hand them the hose and then you just wait in your truck, but this wasn't that. This was, I actually got the opportunity to just watch them make the hose and talk with them, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Okay. Oh, no, let's make sure we don't cross thread it. It's the last thing I need right now. There we go. Oop, bigger than an inch. I believe these are all metric. Not 23, try 25. Nope, 27. 27. Okay, so the line's now attached, but I don't like how much slack it has. Yeah, what I need to do is zip tie that there. That'll be fine for now, but I want that pulled down so that that's good. I really should have had them make that smaller.
should be all right.
There we go. That's that.
Not a big fan of that line sitting so far down there, but
I think that would probably be best. Yeah, have it up. Kind of closes this off, but see if I have zip ties in the truck. Really tightened that thing down. My word. This is the bolt that accesses my hydraulic reservoir, which I already know is basically empty. That's okay, because I got a funnel, nice big funnel, and we got hydraulic fluid. This is about how fast it was coming out of the tractor when that line blew. Okay, we're right at the minimum line. So I'm gonna put it up closer to the max line, and then we'll start the tractor, and I have a feeling it's gonna then drop. And then it should be pretty much right where it needs to be. I've learned from this lesson that I should always have hydraulic fluid on hand. Just have a 5-gallon bucket waiting for you. Okay, we are at the max line. Clean this off, and now we'll start the tractor and check for leaks. If we got no leaks, we're up and running. Fixed. Here goes nothing, guys. I'm not seeing any leaks. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's check our front third function here. Okay, those are working good. Still no leaks. Let's pick up the loader. Yeah, that's working good. Actuate the back. All right, we're back in business. We'll just do one final test on the level of the hydraulic fluid, and then the tractor's fixed. Now, I have a feeling, even though that video hasn't aired, that I'm probably going to see some comments talking about how I am cursed with this tractor. And though I would agree that I've had more issues than I would have liked to have with this tractor, I honestly expected to have problems. There's no piece of equipment, I have not seen a single piece of equipment that's brand new that has not had issues. Everything has its problems that you have to work through. It's just, are you able to fix the problems is the first question. And are the problems really, really bad, or just okay? See, that was what I thought. We're not even on the minimum line now. So, broken hydraulic line, yeah, that's fine. Electronics issues, I would argue that's not fine. I hate electronics issues. I think I'm just gonna put what's left of this in here. Just finish off the bucket. Now that we ran the hydraulic pump, all the fluid went out of the reservoir and it's through the lines and in the pumps, but everything's down, which means that this is when you should check it. You shouldn't check your hydraulic reservoir with everything up, because then it's going to give you a false reading. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. We're pretty much right on the max line. Yeah. Okay. And yes, I'm not the biggest fan that this is how this is designed, but I recognize that the fact that I even have a new tractor is because of decisions like this. It's what made it affordable for me. So, and I will take using a bolt to put my hydraulic fluid in over somebody using cheaper metal every day of the week. Don't ever chimp out on metal when it comes to a tractor. You need good steel. Okay. All right, that's done. Woohoo! Okay, well, we have a different tractor hooked up to the manure spreader this time around. We've got the 100, which is the smallest tractor that they have. They don't really use this tractor with the manure spreader too often, because usually when we're spreading, it's wet and it's cold. When this has a open window in the back and it's 2-wheel drive. Not to mention we're, you know, in Pennsylvania, so. But we are spreading on flat ground. And the biggest hill that I have to deal with is the one leaving the horse pasture. So what I'm doing here is I don't have a heap load on the spreader, and we're just gonna see how this tractor handles it. This is what they're scared of right here. See how she does going down this. All I need to do is make sure if my back tires start slipping, that I give it some gas and keep it pointed straight. Nothing, not a problem at all. That handled that like nothing. Okay, well, that's good. This does have diff lock. I don't know if it works. Got to get used to the tighter turning radius this tractor has. Okay, let's go spread some manure. Also switched our grapple out for our regular bucket since all of our hay material is officially gone and we're just mopping things up. So that means I can put the spreader back into high gear, hopefully meaning we can empty the spreader faster, meaning we can get more loads out in a reduced time. Because I have to pick up my sister-in-law and I need to leave in about an hour, which means I only get about an hour of spreading in. So that's probably about 3 loads, give or take. Let's see if we can get it done. Well, it's definitely a much more intimate experience spreading, I'd say. I'm getting a little bit of splashback. My arm just got hit. But the spreader's handling it fine. Yeah, chewing through that like nothing. I gotta tell you guys, the rear window on this tractor is super clean. Also, I'm sorry. Today's video wasn't supposed to be about manure. It was supposed to be done. This tells you how realistic these videos are. I'm not really fibbing things. This is just what happens. See if we can finish off the row. Oh man, that was flawless. Yeah, that was great. Cool, that worked great. Oh, clutch is a little touchy on this one. All right, let's hit the road. Well guys, that's it. I'm calling it. We're all cleaned up and I fit every last bit that I could on this thing. The tractor's handling things really good, so I think we'll be all right. That's it, manure is done. I just gotta get that spread. And then I'm actually gonna be hooking the spreader down here because I'm gonna be doing some maintenance on this. Because I am going to be cleaning off these rear beaters. Just gonna basically just finish it off so that they're completely cleaned off. Gonna get all these pieces of net wrap that made their way through the manure off and clean this off here. Also going to give it a wash because I'm gonna wash my tractor now that manure's done. So I'll just hook it up to my tractor, pressure wash both of them down and then fully grease that. So she's ready for the fall for more cow manure. I was talking with the veggie boys and we might have a strategy that'll allow me to spread twice a year to spread things out a little bit, but we'll see come fall. Every fall I'm so busy I never have the opportunity to spread manure, meaning it's a once a year job that takes me about a month to do, but we'll see, that's for the fall. Let's go get this last load spread. And it's a big one. Not as heavy as my other loads. The material's a lot lighter, but that's, you know, as full as I can get it. Ah, we can see them planting potatoes. And we've got a horse, specifically Danny, who has decided that he's going to be a problem. Yeah, that just makes sense. Danny likes causing trouble. Go figure. Yeah, that's Danny. You being a troublemaker, Danny? Huh? You eating the wheat? Are you eating the wheat?
It's not as close as the hay you have.
Yeah, come on.
I am so glad someone's here to take care of this wild horse out in the field. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, That's it, come on. Different day, different outfit. We got rain gear on because we actually got rain. You guys are checking in here at the tail end of everything, but everything, it was a very slow soaking rain. This is the kind of rain that, had it been like this when I was spreading manure earlier, that would have shut me down because you could see the ground is slippery. We don't want anything like that. However, inside the hay barn, it is nice. Other than right where that ridge cap goes, you can see we've got a little damp area here. Nothing too crazy. So what are we working on today? Well, today I am gonna take advantage of the fact that it is a rainy day and I'm gonna be working on the manure spreader. Specifically cleaning up these back beaters. So it's a job, it needs to get done and we're gonna do it. I've done a bunch of talking around and it seems like the best way for me to actually clean these off is using a grinder and just, you know, kind of ripping through all of this. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of go right through it all, make it all nice and smooth. We went and got fuel because my generator's out of fuel, so I'm all shut down. So we'll set up some lights and power the generator up and get grinding and get that cleaned off so that that's done. And then I can get the spreader and the tractor pressure washed because we are done with manure season now. And now the next big job for these pieces of equipment is hay. So we'll transition on over into hay season now. And that means that the only thing that I get to focus on is finally finishing the hay barn. Well, that job might have been one of the worst jobs to have on the stable. I double gloved because one glove's not enough to keep the smell off my hands. It's pretty potent. Let's see. It worked. My hands don't reek. They usually reek pretty bad. Whew. And there's the finished result. That is going to, I think, greatly improve the manure spreader's ability to handle that hard manure that I was dealing with this year. It's gonna chew it up a lot nicer. In old times, not that really anybody cares about manure facts, but these were one solid piece welded onto the beam. So when these would wear down, you would have to replace the entire beam. But now they make it so that they're bolted on. So you can just take these bolts off, take the old ones off, and you could put brand new ones on. And you can see they wear down. These have been covered up here, honestly, for probably quite some time. So you can actually see how the wear, now these are even worn down, but you can see these are considerably worn down. I'd say we probably have about 1 more year of wear on these, especially now that it's clean. And for anybody that has manure spreaders, that was by far the best way to get all of that off. I was a little skeptical of using the grinder, but you could just, it goes right through it like nothing. It cuts it like easy, you can wrap it off. And then you can tell the second it touches metal, you just back off a little bit and you're fine. You're absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that came out. We're gonna power wash that off. I know it's kind of redundant to power wash a manure spreader, but I'm gonna hook it up to my tractor. I'm gonna power wash my tractor. We'll give this a nice fresh coat of getting all the grime off of it, and then we'll grease it up. And then this is done. This is set and ready for the fall of the year. And this piece of equipment is in a better condition than when I got it. And that is how we borrow equipment. Well, that feels nice, but that's done and off our plate. I am so happy to finally have the chapter of spreading manure in the record books. That is nice to have that checked off. All we gotta do is give her a quick wash, and then we're pretty much ready to fully devote our time for hay barn. And we are definitely needing to, as we are getting into the month of May. We're gonna need to get that barn done, because end of May, beginning of June, that's when we get to first cutting hay. So it's gonna be an exciting one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember to hit that like button, consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.